In a modern city full of life and opportunities lives Elizabeth Morgan, an ambitious young woman who works as an interior designer for a famous design firm. She is living the life of her dreams and is working the job that she had always dreamed of achieving. Elizabeth meets her new colleague Jolien Coleman, a man with a charming personality and attractive appearance. Gradually, their professional relationship turns into a strong emotional one. The two share a very passionate love story full of beautiful moments, romantic dates, and a whole future ahead of them. Their life becomes the gossip that everyone talks about in the office, and everyone wishes them happiness. A year after Elizabeth and Julien's relationship, Camila Wilson, a new colleague at the firm and an old friend of Elizabeth's, is hired. Camila had known Elizabeth since college, but was never a close friend due to their constant rivalry. Camila is friendly at first and grows closer to Elizabeth and Jolien. The trio become close and have a good time together. However, Elizabeth begins to notice that Camila is showing an increased interest in Jolien. As months pass, Jolien and Camila grow closer in a way that worries Elizabeth. She begins to notice strange things: mysterious late-night text messages, late calls, and glances between them. Elizabeth tries to dismiss these concerns, believing them to be jealous delusions, but she can't shake her inner suspicion. One day, Elizabeth finds a romantic message from Camila on Julien's phone. She breaks down but decides to wait before confronting him. After days of silence and anxiety, Elizabeth decides to confront Jolien. One night, she sits with him in their shared apartment and asks him to interpret the letter. Jolien initially tries to deny it, but faced with the evidence Elizabeth presents, he breaks down and confesses his secret affair with Camila. Elizabeth leaves the apartment in a state of anger and despair, and indefinitely ends her relationship with Jolien. After the breakup, Elizabeth decides to distance herself from Jolien and Camila completely. At the same time, Camila abruptly leaves the apartment without telling anyone. Elizabeth feels that she is beginning to recover, but the anger and betrayal leave a dark mark on her heart. After all that has happened, and after Jolien and Elizabeth's breakup, 2 months later, Jolien is found murdered in his apartment. The crime is discovered on a normal workday morning, and news quickly spreads through the company and among friends. The police take over the investigation as the case seems complicated. Detectives begin to collect evidence and question all those close to Jolien. The police turn to Elizabeth as Julien's ex-partner, and she is questioned. Elizabeth provides evidence that she was at a party with friends at the time of the murder, which removes suspicion from herself. Suspicion turns to Camila, who had recently been in a relationship with Jolien, but has been out of sight since the murder. She is sought out and called in for questioning. Through surveillance cameras, the police discover that the murder was not solely motivated by infidelity. A man named Michael Carson, Julien's neighbor, is seen entering his apartment around the time of the murder. After Michael is questioned, it is revealed that he had a long-standing relationship with Camila, and that jealousy and anger drove him to kill Jolien after discovering his infidelity with Camila. Eventually, Michael is arrested and the investigation is closed. Elizabeth returns to her life, trying to regain balance after these devastating events. Elizabeth feels that she has learnt harsh lessons about trust and betrayal, but she decides to move forward with strength and new hope.